What up? Live.
What up? Hey.
Baka sumali pa ako dun sa tournament. I mean, why not? I mean, kung hindi tayo mapuno, why not, diba?
No,
Are you
dapat
talking
ikaw
about
yung
the top secret tournament we're organizing and haven't announced in public yet?
Yeah, I mean, no one's here yet.
No, dude, you should be like the final boss.
No, I'm not that
champion.
good.
Bakit? Magaling ba si Ro? Esports level ba si Ro? Para maging final boss?
Hindi naman esport yung hindi naman esport yung game, pero like I'm not that good, you know. D Prime Bruce, what up?
D Prime Bruce, what's up? Yung mananalo doon, kakalabanin ka. Yeah. Okay, sana
kakalabanin nila, kakalabanin nila si Sandata, tapos kakalabanin nila si Ro. Tapos mamamindfuck sila. Oh no, it's the same guy.
Kakalabanin nila pareho, pero 100 overall siya.
OP.
Yeet. Well, today's a fake Friday for me. Wala kaming pasok bukas because of a internal company holiday. So you gotta get work done. Yeah. They're doing this thing that every quarter they're gonna give like the last Friday of the quarter off.
Wow, that's nice.
That's not a bad benefit.
Yeah,
it's not bad, but it's like it's once every 3 months, so you forget about it until it's time for the next quarter.
I mean, hey, at least you still have yours this quarter. What's up, Julian?
Yeah. Ako naman, I actually waited all day for the Globe technician para makabit yung bagong internet namin, pero hindi dumating. So, sad.
Tomorrow, I'm gonna have to spend the day going to the fucking Manila City Hall to pay off a traffic ticket.
Oh my God.
Tanga na talaga. Tanga na Maynila.
Friends, what's up? Julian, hello. Ulam ko chicken breast na ako nagluto.
Hey.
Yeah. It's the easiest chicken part to cook. So.
No, Bruce, I asked if I can pay online or GCash or anything. Well, it is old school. Yeah, I have to travel all the way to the City Hall. Buti na lang, it's literally off an LRT station.
Meron pa ba nun na payment na hindi pwede?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, wow. Yeah, legit. Even yeah. Even sa Pasig, I had to go to the office.
And Mac, what's up?
What up, Mac? Bossing Mac.
Nasty Mac. I mean, these city halls have to get to with the times, though.
Yung MMDA mismo, like if MMDA ang humulo sa'yo sa like in EDSA for example, pwede siyang ibayad sa GCash. Pero pag yung internal jurisdiction ng LGUs, you have to fucking go to their office in person. Jesus, we're fucking stuck in there.
Sobrang makaluma.
Yeah. All right. Gusto naman ang lahat. Hope you all settled in for tonight. All right, time to shut up.
Who's ready for story time?
What's going on? This is Xavier Woods, aka Austin Creed.
Let me talk to him.
Hello, WWE Universe in the Philippines. This is Charlotte.
Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cobb.
I have to finish the story.
We are pretty deadly. Yes, boy. Yes, boy.
Run!
Bang! The sniper is shooting you down. This is TMDK's Robbie Eagles.
Hey, this is the Cosmic Cactus, Paul London.
Hello, my name is Ilya Dragunov, the Czar, the NXT champion, and you're listening to...
And you're listening to...
And you're listening...
And you are listening...
And you're listening
to the Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling Podcast.
The Wrestling
Podcast. The Wrestling Podcast.
To the Wrestling Podcast. Yeah.
You are listening and watching, listening to rather, the longest running weekly episodic Filipino wrestling podcast. This is the Wrestling Podcast. Stancy, Romoran, Emil Nate checking in on your regular Thursday live stream. We've got a lot going on. It is the last Thursday of July. It's also a huge PPV weekend kasi merong AEW Forbidden Door, which will be airing Sunday night in the US, Monday dito. So old school PPV situation na naman. For our patrons in the Discord, di natin alam kung magkaka-viewing party. Hingin nyo muna. Pag hiningin nyo, edi gagawin natin ng paraan. Pag hindi, edi kanya-kanyang panood na lang, di ba? That's one of the many galawans we have with our patrons. Emil, you want to start things off by giving Julian some really quick thoughts about the draft?
It's a very weak. It's probably the weakest draft class of my lifetime. So even worse than the 2000s, in my opinion. So yun lang.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, buhay ka na nung 2000 drafts. I was about to say something na parang nabuto mo ba yung 2000 draft? But yeah, you were alive for that one. Unfortunately, no. How about you, Ro? How's it going?
Yeah, we're all good. Fake Friday, as I said in the pre-show. So more time to watch wrestling.
Yeah, and lots of wrestling to talk about. But first, we got to shill our brand new Wrestling Podcast t-shirt, which you can see right here. That one was created by our friends over at Everybody's Toys and Collectibles. Shout out to Mr. Dwayne Manalastas, one of our longtime partners at this point. And if you want to support the podcast and buy your own Wrestling Podcast t-shirt, all you have to do is go to this link in our ticker. That is tinyurl.com/WWP t-shirt. Again, that is tinyurl.com/WWP t-shirt. Appreciate naman natin si Emil para siya yung lower right dun sa kapwa ko mahal ko back in the day. Except na hindi siya nagsa-sign language. But yeah, tinyurl.com/WWP t-shirt for your own Wrestling Podcast t-shirt. All right, Emil, we alluded to the patrons. Let them know what they get if they show us some love by joining the patron community.
All right, so by subscribing to our Patreon, you're pretty much supporting everything that we do here in the pod. Again, going strong for 10 years. So you could join by the link. Wala pa pala yung link sa baba. The link, but anyway, is patreon.com/wrestling podcast, where you could subscribe for as low as $5. Madaming benefits ang pagsali sa... Yeah, it is.
So many fucking benefits.
Yeah, it is.
Go, run and tell them.
All right. So first of all, it's you can join on our Discord community where madaming ganap. Like sobrang fun to be in that Discord. Laging may kwentuhan, laging may diskusyon. So and you can talk to us about anything you want, wrestling, chismis ba yan, or fashion.
I wanna point something out. The Discord community has become a legit family. Like you can expect actually. You can expect when we started this Patreon community like fucking 4 years ago. 4 years ago. In the height of the pandemic. I didn't realize I mean it was gonna get there someday, but I didn't realize that we would, create such a tight-knit community. Na naging safe space na siya. Safe space siya for chismis, for tea. May nag-come out pa nga in habang Pride Month. Somebody came out. Happy Pride. They were safe enough. They were comfortable enough to show us their true selves. Parang kami yata yung first na or one of the first people that they came out to. So that's crazy. I mean, like it sounds weird because we're asking you to also give us money, but we say that because we we invite you to support us if you can, diba? If you're able to. I mean, wala namang pilitan diba? But if you are uh if you are liquid enough to support us, then you get a nice family in return. We're not the only ones, which is to say, myself and my co-host, we're not the only ones bringing you benefits, but the community itself in the Patreon community is also the benefits. Like, you are all each other's benefits, is what I'm saying.
So in a
Yes,
way,
that's
we are
true.
all friends with benefits. That is
Yeah.
what we've built
Legit
in
yan.
Yes.
our Patreon community. All right, let's get to some
All right.
happy row noises.
All right, last TV, y'all. Maraming nang maraming nalalaga sa WWE. Let's hope that Samantha Irvin does not leave the company. But Blast TV, Raw, NXT, SmackDown, all there. Up to date. Wala pang Netflix, wala pang WWE sa Netflix. This is where you go. This is how you keep updated. We've been talking about on Wrestling Fan 101 how you can get into pro wrestling, which shows to watch if you choose to watch the WWE along with a million other people around the world in the Philippines. This is where you get it. Libre siya for Converge and Globe at Home subscribers. For everyone else, it is 179 pesos a month. And, it's not just WWE. A bunch of other stuff as well. There is the NFL regular season coming soon in a couple of months, in a few months. There's Euro League for soccer fans. Make NBA din via Setanta in the regular season, if I am not mistaken. So maraming content, maraming papanoorin sa Blast TV. So go check that out, because if you don't, they will take it away from us. Mr. Ovation will take it away from us. www.blasttv.ph or app.blasttv.ph.
Yeah, if you watch it live, makakabisado mo one day yung mga merch plugs nila. Like, from asphalt to dirt, from the city to the wilderness, as long as they hold the wheel and drive. So, yeah, si Mr. Ovation yun.
May Women of Wrestling din. Tama
Yeah,
ba?
they do.
Yeah,
They do.
the Women of
Ano,
Wrestling.
meron din Heroes of Lucha
Oh, yeah.
Libre. Thursdays at 10 p.m. So, that's my very bad Mr. Ovation impression. All right, let's go to some news outside the ring bago pa tayo huntingin ni Mr. Ovation. Imbis na bayaran tayo. We're going to start with some sad news here. We found out earlier this week that WWE Hall of Famer Sika, one half of the legendary and trailblazing Wild Samoans, in recent years, mas nakilala natin siya as the father of the tribal chief, our head of the table, Roman Reigns. He passed away this week at the age of 79. So in-announce siya ni Roman Reigns on his social media. Then WWE quickly announced also on their social media platforms, and Sika leaves behind such a legacy. Kasi yung era ni Sika, silang Wild Samoans, they would travel together and actually live the gimmick. They were part of that era, diba? Na they could not break kayfabe. They would pretend na they were these wild, savage islanders, as politically incorrect as that comes across now in 2024. But they were part of the heyday of professional wrestling and pop culture. And he and Afa ended up training the next generation of wrestlers, particularly sa pamilya nila, diba? The Samoan dynasty, as we now have come to know them. And of course, you've got I guess yung pinaka successor talaga ng Samoan dynasty in Roman Reigns, who became the longest running world champion of this generation. So it's such a rich legacy that Sika leaves behind here.
Yeah, it's never a good thing when somebody passes. It's a good thing that Sika was able to see through. I remember nung WrestleMania 31, he was really legitimately upset that Seth stole the championship from Roman and Brock Lesnar, diba? When he was promised na, it looked like Roman was going to win that championship after his breakout singles push following the dissolution of the Shield. So Sika got to see everything, how he got to see how Roman ascended to the very top of the business, to being the legit face of not just the WWE but the entire wrestling industry, diba? Roman became such a backbone of the entire business. Na you either had to love him or hate him, and for a father, like, there's no higher honor than to see your son succeed at that level, diba? So it's one thing that I am glad that he was able to witness for himself.
Yeah, there was this video clip nga surrounding the internet in the past couple of days of Ro, you mentioned WrestleMania 31, but this one was the next year, WrestleMania 32, and how happy he was when Roman Reigns won the WWE Championship in the main event. Um, so for sure, he's proud of all these kids, Roman especially, kasi he became the guy nga in WWE. But for sure, marami naman siyang naiwang mga gandang bagay dito sa mundo, and it deserves to be acknowledged. And rest in peace to one half of the Wild Samoans.
Yeah. One last thing I want to say about Sika is, Ro, you mentioned you were glad that he was able to see Roman really ascend to the top of WWE. I think one of the lasting images I have of Roman's reign as Universal Champion is him and Alpha coming out and putting the wreath, diba? I forget what it's called. Kay Roman Reigns after he won Hell in a Cell. So that was pretty awesome kasi yun talaga yung pagbabasbas nung previous generation onto Roman and really crowning him the tribal chief of their family.
Yeah. It's it's a good thing that it all happened like that for him, because I don't know, what he thought about it. I don't know if he thought, no, okay, the crowd was not fully into yung big dog Roman Reigns, but now um, the guy is revered now, diba? So um, we're too young to have seen the heyday of the of the Wild Samoans, but it's I know it's really invaluable, the legacy and the dynasty that they left behind.
Mm-hmm. All right, on to happier news from outside the ring. This past week, kinasal na sina Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews. Of course, this is the real life relationship. We all know naman na tambalang pang TV lang sina Rhea and Dirty Dom. So they got married. Nagkataon na Rhea was taking time off because of her injury, and then Buddy Matthews was also written out of AEW television due to an attack by the patriarchy on an episode of Collision a couple of weeks ago. So I guess it was as good a time as any for Rhea and Buddy to tie the knot. And the one thing na I want to say is, can we please stop it with oh shoot, wala paano na ako, or wala na akong pag-asa or whatever, as if you had a chance to begin with. All right, because that is incel behavior. Let me tell you that.
It's not even incel behavior, it's just Delulu talaga.
Sure.
Sino ba kayo? Sino ba kayo? Paano mangarap? I mean, even mangarap, but who this man, Buddy Matthews, is a specimen carved out of granite. Diba? That guy takes care of himself. He's a legit man's man. I mean, not to promote toxic masculinity here, but who are you compared to one Buddy Matthews?
Yeah, congratulations to both Rhea and Buddy. Kasi yeah, sakto. Nagkaroon sila ng time to tie the knot, and I wish them a lifelong of happiness.
Yeah. Till death do they part, sabi nga ni Rhea Ripley on her Instagram caption. So congrats again to the happy couple, Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews. All right.
Black yung yung color
scheme. Okay. Yeah, that was weird.
Okay. It's not weird. It's really just goth. But it's funny that they really did that.
Or baka emo kid talaga sila at heart. Maybe they had like My Chemical Romance or some shit blaring through the speakers at their reception. Diba? All right, last bit of news from outside the ring. We found out this week that WWE and the state of Indiana have agreed to host WrestleMania in Indiana. Di pa natin alam kung kailan. SummerSlam in Indiana, di rin natin alam kung kailan. Basta 2 nights pareho yon. And the 2025 Royal Rumble, which will be on a February for once. It will be on February 1 or 2, 2025. So Indiana is apparently the place to be now.
Yeah, thanks Caitlin Clark, I guess. So it's funny though. This is the first time that they have committed a city without naming the year when this is all gonna happen.
Yeah.
So for all we know, that could be 2 years from now or 5 years from now. For all we know, it could be WrestleMania 45 and not 42. So I guess it's easy for people if you really want to go to Indiana, if you want to go and catch a fever game, tapos sabay mo na WrestleMania, okay siya. It's a good marketing tactic. It's a good tourism promotional tactic. I just don't know if Indianapolis is a real tourist hotspot, other than being home to at least the Colts. Alam kong championship caliber Indiana team. So
It's really a
Pacers. What about
basketball
the
state more than
Pacers?
anything.
I mean,
Yeah, the Pacers, Indiana
yeah,
University, the Fever. It's
right,
really
right,
a
right.
basketball state as well. But yeah, you're right. Nah, it's not every day that they have partnerships like this. If I may make an old NBA draft joke here, that WrestleMania or SummerSlam could be 2 years away from being 2 years away. So yun nga, di natin alam, di ba, kung kailan mangyayari yun. But we do know that Tyrese Halliburton, star of the Indiana Pacers, is a huge wrestling fan. He was on Monday Night Raw wearing his own Tyrese 317 t-shirt. So, maybe if Tyrese stays in Indiana long enough, he could be part of the promotional campaigns.
Malay
Yeah,
natin,
yeah,
sumali si Tyrese Halliburton sa Royal Rumble next year, di ba?
Sure, why the hell
like Shaq.
not?
I mean, Shaq did it, so why not, right? Shaq joined the Andre, so who knows? I mean, okay, it's just weird. No, it's weird not for the fans, but for Indiana kasi pinangakuan sila ng event pero hindi sinabi kung kailan. So for all we know, yun nga, as you said, we don't know when that's gonna happen, if it's gonna happen, if they decide to push through with it. So who's gonna come collect, diba? Who's gonna sino maniningil? Pwede
Si
ba maningil
Caitlin
sa Indiana?
Clark, siya yung maniningil.
Exactly. Can Caitlin Clark demand WrestleMania to happen in 2026? Diba?
Shit, I would love that. I would be all in on that. Caitlin Clark versus the powers that be. All right, congrats to the state of Indiana. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we'll talk about all the Uncle Howdy business, from Chad Gable to the VHS, and we'll also talk about Liv Morgan and her helping Finn Balor and JD McDonagh win some tag team gold. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, before we get to some WWE talk, we acknowledge Dr. G, who just made it back from abroad. At talagang nag-check-in muna siya sa live stream natin para ipaalam sa atin na nakauwi na siya.
So, let me get this straight, Doc G. You're telling me na nagkaroon ka ng signal when the plane landed on the runway, the first thing you did was turn on your mobile data and gone through the Facebook page and checked for the stream. So, nung nakita mo nagka-signal ka na, yun ang una mong ginawa.
You didn't text your folks. You didn't text your sister or anyone in your loved ones. You told us, because we are your family now.
But welcome back. I'm glad you're home safe.
Welcome back,
Yeah,
Wendell.
we're glad. Say what's up to Vinette as well, na taga Malaysia. She's been watching our streams for the last few weeks. Maraming salamat sa pagtangkilik sa Wrestling Podcast. All right, let's go to Monday Night Raw, and we're going to start with Chad Gable. Ang daming memes na lumabas after he got attacked last week. Na, kunwari, si Cody Rhodes, torn pec, out 6 months. Triple H, torn quad, out 9 months. Chad Gable, dead, back next week. So, the silliness of it all notwithstanding, what did you think of the way they handled Chad Gable here? Kasi, di ba, last week, yung last shot of Raw was him with what looked like his head split open, and then now, parang ginalusan lang siya.
He got some of that Kobe stem cell treatment. So, no, I'm actually wondering if it was a response to yung Whataburger picture that shook the internet over the weekend. Diba? For those who don't know, a fan found the Wyatt Sick6 at Whataburger after the show. And then nagpa-picture siya. Then everyone got mad, or people got mad. And for the most part, I'm glad that a lot of people were like, let it go. I mean, like, who cares if they were, not protecting the business or the characters or whatever. Let them eat fast food after the show. And, if one fan deciphers the identities of these guys behind the mask, then that's not their fault. But it's I know that they did it for the sake of, okay, Chad Gable needs to be written for other stories, moving forward. He got into Money in the Bank, diba?
Yep.
So he obviously they needed to put him back in, and kung ganun din lang, I mean, they did this thing at the beginning of the show where he was being protected by security kasi baka targetin siya ulit. And then target nga siya ulit, as it stands after his match, when Nikki Cross came out to torment him and give the VHS tape. So I don't know yet what it is, or I don't know what to feel about it, I guess. But at the same time, parang weird lang din. I don't know. I'm trying not to think too much about it. I don't really, I'm not really into it that much. But you know, I'm glad that they scaled back from what happened last week on Raw. Hindi pala siya, nobody died. People didn't actually die. They were just left beaten bloody within an inch of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's that. I mean, maybe I hope that it's a little less over the top moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Ako naman, they could have put a little bit more effort in it, like that not may bandage sa ulo, or at least he could have sold the beating in the match. Pero parang it was just like Chad Gable's back, and he did his stuff in the ring. Kung if they're gonna do the angle, sana iba na lang yung inatake nung Wyatts rather than Chad. Kasi it derails the current storyline. Like Chad is in an ongoing storyline with na kailangan nandun siya every week. So medyo medyo na turn off ako doon ng onte, but at least they they followed it up, pero not in the way na I would have wanted them to follow it up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Chad Gable tried to seek help from the Alpha Academy. Sabi nga ni Vinette, di ba? Kinokontrol niya yung pamilya niya, and then tinalikuran na siya ng Alpha Academy. So now, lumapit na sina Ivy Nile and the Creed brothers, and ito na yun. They're already building up to the long-rumored stable featuring Chad Gable and Diamond Mine.
Yeah, it's about time. Buti they found a good way to ease into it, but it is a long-term story nga. So masyadong atat si Julius Creed when he tweeted that all those weeks ago.
Okay.
All right, let's get to the follow-up, which is the Wyatt Sick6 VHS. So Nikki Cross, as Sister Abigail, came out and wanted to hand a VHS to Pat McAfee, who they'd been messing with as well on the Pat McAfee show. So good to see na extension na rin ng WWE canon yung Pat McAfee show. Pat McAfee wasn't on Raw because of the real-life death of his real father-in-law. Baka lang may magsabi na, okay, kayfabe din yung father-in-law ni Pat McAfee. Hindi po. Totoo po yun. Nakikidalamhati din po kami. So yeah, they said na hindi nila alam paano nila ipa-play yung VHS, and about an hour later, they were able to crack it open and play the contents of the VHS. And silliness of the VHS notwithstanding, I actually appreciate the myth-making here kasi they were able to finally acknowledge Bo Dallas as Bray Wyatt's brother, and they were able to weave in yung real-life grief niya as both Taylor Rotunda and Bo Dallas into how Uncle Howdy works.
So yeah, Lance, you can actually save the VHS footage to your hard drive because you can digitize the contents of the tape. Anyway, there was this tweet over the weekend that said that WWE isn't actually doing this to honor Bray Wyatt; it's to make money off of Bray Wyatt, the late Bray Wyatt. To which I say, everything that's done in pro wrestling is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
We are out here trying to feed our families or ourselves. As it stands. So if you're not trying to make money, you are a mark. I'm sorry. You are a legit mark. Kasi, alam mo yun, may hanap buhay yan lahat. And what do you expect Bo Dallas to do without Bray Wyatt? Just twiddle his thumbs on a farm. And obviously he was trying to honor what they started because he was part of what they started.
Oh, siya naman talaga si Uncle Howdy eh.
Exactly. So I don't understand why this isn't a tribute to Bray Wyatt kasi Bo is half of this of that run. So yeah, you're right. I did appreciate now. Okay, they didn't pretend that Bo Dallas had nothing to do with any of these. They pulled the curtain back and said, okay, he really was the Uncle Howdy character, in a manner of speaking. They said they kind of implied it with this whole thing. Obviously, you can see that he's Uncle Howdy,
Yeah.
but I appreciate this more than anything Bray was doing. No, except yung I think the only thing I liked that Bray did last year was yung heartfelt message niya to the fans, right? So this felt like that in a way, slightly different, but it felt like that. So I like this particular step. I don't know yet how it ties into the rest, yung gang, yung whether or not the Wyatt Six is going to be like a supernatural gang or talagang they're just dressed up to while they're going crazy on the rest of the roster. So I'm still not fully into it, but I do want to see what happens from this VHS tape.
I do appreciate the effort from creative to fully expand on this Uncle Howdy and the Wild Six thing. Kasi one of my worries when this debuted was it was gonna be too supernatural for some people. So this for me this humanizes Uncle Howdy. Now there is a persona behind it, and that person is grieving and has a real life motivation for the things that they're doing. So um they have long ways to go in terms of getting over with with the people, but this is a right step in the right direction for me. And looking forward week by week. I think they are slow burning this as well. Just like yung pag slow burn nila sa debut nila, hindi naman nila kailangan magmadali because as of right now, wala pa talaga silang ka-feud eh. They're just making their presence felt on Raw. So they're still establishing the group as this scary group na will terrorize Raw or terrorize WWE. So I like the effort that they're putting in. So hindi pa ako fully on board with it, but I like the effort.
Sabi mo, Emil, wala pa silang ka-feud ngayon. Ironically, that should have been Chad Gable kasi siya yung pinaka-high profile na in-attack nila, di ba? But clearly, lumihis sila from that direction as of this week's Raw. So, would you have liked it if they already engaged with Chad Gable directly na, the Wyatt Six are gonna mess with Chad Gable starting this week?
Yun na nga, like I said earlier, Chad Gable kasi is in another storyline. So yun yung parang naging ano ko doon, yung parang naging confusion ko doon na wait a minute, why are they messing with Chad when he's having other things to do? So I guess they pressed the reset button on that, and parang yun na, like you said, medyo lumay sila doon, and now parang back to square one, I guess, or like this may mga other people in line pa who are they're gonna mess with or they're gonna have a feud with down the line.
Baka yung pala yung terms ng bago ng contract. He has to be in as much stories as possible.
Galing na agent niya, no? Kung yun yung na-negotiate nila. All right, one more thing from Raw. We've got new World Tag Team Champions. Awesome Truth actually held on to the titles for a little under 3 months, which was longer than I expected. But yun na nga, they lost after nagoyo ni Liv Morgan si R-Truth into getting Adam Pearce to grant Finn Balor and JD McDonagh a tag team championship match. So Liv Morgan not only orchestrated it, but she also actively helped Finn and JD win here. So Liv Morgan really positioning herself in the Rhea Ripley spot.
I actually like this development. I don't know. I was having last week, like what's happening here between Liv, diba? Like why is Liv champion, but he's not, or she's not concerned with the championship. She's more concerned with the Judgment Day. And then why is Damon Priest champion when he's more concerned with Liv Morgan, diba? So this was an interesting wrinkle that I didn't hate for one. I did like that Zelina came out this week and said, "Okay, what are you doing with the rest of Judgment Day? Why did you forget about the championship that you're wearing?" So I like that. Hopefully somebody was listening, or at least that was the plan, right? They didn't forget that Liv was a champion. So I think I like it kasi na-address yung issues ko. And then for his part, Damon Priest was also furthering his feud with Seth Rollins. Diba? So, okay, may nangyayari naman pala. So, Judgment Day is back in that spot now. Okay, things are revolving around them while they're furthering their own little personal agendas.
Ako naman, I'm happy na meron ng progress with this storyline because for weeks, it seems like the storyline is just with Liv and Dom. Pero ngayon, almost everyone in the Judgment Day are now being affected by Liv's antics. So, nagkakaroon ng progression and this is what Liv wants all along. Like she said, she's gonna take away everything from Rhea. So first was injuring her, and then taking the title, and then taking Dom, and now taking over the Judgment Day. So this tells me na medyo malapit-lapit na bumalik si Rhea Ripley kasi they are now progressing with this story instead of just having Liv mess with Dom each and every week.
Ang gusto ko malaman, ano ba yung tinext ni Liv kay Dom?
Oo nga.
Okay.
Yeah,
It made Carlito say that was cool.
Yeah, they have been doing a good job of making those making those compelling.
Yeah, you know what? I will say this. This is a type of stuff that might remind you of the Attitude Era and the Ruthless Aggression era, but I think they're able to straddle the line without being overtly horny.
Speaking of the censorship, so there was I don't know if it's true, but there was a bit that came out over the past few days that Triple H said na kapag nasa Netflix na yung WWE, wala nang censorship because cable required censorship. I'm like, people were cheering, yes, yeah, but I mean, is an uncensored cuss word really what's gonna make the show better? I mean, like,
hey, you're the one who's telling me to cuss on commentary.
No, hindi. Yes, pero they're treating it as though it's gonna instantly make the show better, diba? Make the writing better, the quality of the storytelling better, the stories better. Like, yes, it's fun to cuss. I love cussing, but hindi yun yung magic bullet na magpapaganda ng mga storyline ni Triple H, diba? I mean, like, it's fine to celebrate it, but some people are overreacting and think that this is going to be like the magic trick, the magic spell that will bring us back to the Attitude Era heights,
Yeah.
To be fair, di naman sinabi ni Triple H na gaganda yung product just because.
No. Yun nga. Obviously, that's not what he said. Pero yun yung takeaway ng mga fans who grew up in that era.
Ito lang sasabihin ko as a broadcaster and as someone who makes money out of trying to be as broadcast friendly as possible. I think that while there is a place for cussing, I don't want it to be used in a wanton manner in all of the media I'm watching kasi nawawalan din siya ng gravitas eh. Like if I hear the F-bomb every 5 seconds, it's gonna mean less and less. So yun, challenge din yun to everybody behind the mic. If you think na you can get away with cussing every 5 seconds just because you're on the mic, you're on the internet, walang MTRCB or KBP na magsisensor sa'yo, then you've got another thing coming because that means na you're not able to communicate properly without the crutch of using F-bombs and curse words. Diba?
Sure, yeah.
Julian says Dom is a G for showing the message to his crew. No, Julian. No, he is not.
He is not.
No.
You're not supposed to show another person's nudes to other people who they're not meant to receive.
Assuming they were nudes.
Assuming they were nudes. Or assuming cool. It was a sext or a lewd text, diba? It was meant for the eyes of one dirty Dominic Mysterio. Dapat kanya lang yun.
Pero knowing Liv, she probably intended for everyone to see it anyway.
Sure. Sabi nga ni Doc G, baka nakasulat lang, watch me. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about NXT really quickly, and then we'll head into AEW Forbidden Door predictions. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts on the Pod Network. All right, let's take a quick detour to NXT, where we now know the main event of Heatwave is not just Trick Williams versus the young OG Javon Evans for the NXT Championship. Nakisaling po sana sina Sean Spears and Ethan Page, as we expected. And we're getting a fatal four-way here. So, Emil, what did you think of this development?
I like this development because having Jovan versus Trick is kind of weird because it's a babyface versus babyface match, and then considering you have other heels on your roster, so it was kind of weird. Na we're gonna have a main event match na ano pares babyface. So I like this development of putting in Sean and Ethan into the page. It's gonna make the match a little bit unpredictable, and so yeah, I like it. I really do.
This is funny because it's really now it's really now Trick Williams versus the AEW alumni.
I was
So-
about to say the same thing. Lahat
No,
sila
this-
nanggaling AEW.
yeah,
eh.
that's that. For those who don't know, Javon Evans was an enhancement talent on Dark as Jay Malachi.
Yeah.
So way to go NXT. So for those who think that walang kwentang AEW, NXT is stealing from AEW. So this is a legit value of AEW and people in the wrestling business. So yeah, not a bad way to have a main event for especially when you have two legit stars, even legit stars, but more experienced veterans. Diba? Yeah, the real Forbidden Door, diba, Julian? So hopefully Ethan Page finally wins here, or Sean Spears, diba? But not Sean Spears.
What do you think about Heatwave actually capping off Money in the Bank weekend when, the real highlight is presumably Money in the Bank?
That's funny, no? Ni alam mo yung di daw sila gagawa ng Sunday pay-per-view, Sunday PLE. But here we are, we doing another Sunday PLE. But well, I guess it's for cost and that's fine, I guess. Syempre nasanay na tayo sa money sa main roster PLEs happening on Saturdays. And if you still want to catch NXT as a PLE, then it's on you. I mean, choice mo pa rin yun, I guess.
Yeah, it's weird kasi nasanay na tayo before, 'di ba? Na it's always the NXT show before the main roster, but now because WWE PLEs are now airing on Saturdays US time, it's the other way around na. So it's weird, but I don't think it's the first time na nangyari to. Nangyari na to in a previous, I'm sure in a previous weekend na may parehas na PLE yung WWE and NXT. So I guess this is how it is now.
Yeah. Good for the NXT talent who will get booked on Heatwave, though, because it means they get to travel to Toronto and actually compete outside the US, compete on that biggest stage, diba? PLE level type of stuff. Great experience for them. Speaking of PLEs, we've got AEW Forbidden Door. That pay-per-view is happening over the weekend. So Monday morning yan para sa atin. Once again, we've got a very bloated card, like 11 matches. Ganyan kadami. So expect another 4-hour show minimum. Maybe 5 hours, depending on how long they go. And we're going to go through the matches starting with 0 hours. So you've got the team of Willow Nightingale and Tam Nakano taking on Chris Statlander and Momo Watanabe.
Yeah, I guess Willow finally gets one over on Chris on Stat. Kasi she's been eating the losses for quite a while now.
Yeah, plus for the past few weeks laging si Chris Statlander yung she always gets one up on Willow. So I guess it's time Willow get her win here.
Yeah, hindi ko lang gets how Tam Nakano and Momo Watanabe got involved here. I mean, really, the AEW feud is Willow and Chris. So
Forbidden Door kasi,
Yeah.
have to insert talent there, I guess.
Nag-schoolyard pick sila from the Stardom roster. Oh, to akin to. Oh, to magiging teammate ko to bukas. All right, moving on. Next match on the card, we've got a trios match featuring the Elite taking on the team of the Acclaimed and Hiroshi Tanahashi, and they are calling themselves Scissor Race. So I was watching this segment earlier where Billy Gunn was cutting the promo and saying na, oh, EVP kayo, di ba? Ako, kaibigan ko, presidente. And then nung una, I was thinking he was referring to Triple H, diba? But then, hindi naman president si Triple H, he's chief content officer. And then the video plays, I'm like, oh shit, it's Hiroshi Tanahashi. All right, I see where he's going.
That's funny. I mean, it's easy to say that since I believe the Acclaimed have themselves a tag team championship match, diba? A future tag team championship
Yep.
match. So they got to win here, and it's Tanahashi. So upgrade yeah. I think they get the win so that they look strong for their tag title shot.
Yeah, it is just weird for me na the first time we're gonna get Tanahashi versus Okada on AEW is in a six-man tag with the
Siyempre
Acclaimed and
kailangan
the Young
involved yung
Bucks. Oh,
AEW.
okay, yeah, yeah. So I think the baby faces here win because the same reasons Rose said. The Acclaimed will have a future tag team title shot, so they have to look strong heading into that match. So I'll go with the Scissor Ace for the win.
All right. Next up, we've got the match between Chris Jericho and Minoru Suzuki. So, we're assuming kasi hindi pa nila formally ina-announce, the original match was supposed to be Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata versus Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. But Brian Keith is injured, and then sinasabi ni Chris Jericho na, I found someone else. He plays the video. It features Suzuki, and then Suzuki blindsides him by saying na ayaw kita maging ka-partner, kakalabanin na lang kita. So it looks like an FTW championship match between these two living legends.
Kind of sucks though. 'Cause I'd much rather have the trios, but I guess there are also too many trios. So yeah, if this is the match, then Jericho wins, obviously.
Yeah, Jericho wins. I mean, I just can't see Murder Grandpa with the FTW title. Plus, I mean, if you're the FTW champion, you need to be on TV each week. I just can't see Suzuki doing that. So Jericho wins.
All right. Next up, you've got MJF versus Hechicero. So I don't know what you guys felt about MJF's promo earlier, but he just totally buried Hechicero there.
Okay lang. It's what MJF does. I mean, Echicero's too. I mean, alam mo naman na kupal sa MJF and he's gonna trash talk anyone who comes his way. Hechicero is winning people over. Like every time he steps in the ring on TV, on American TV, he converts new people. So he isn't really buried by that because you know how good he is. So I'm not concerned for him. Obviously, MJF's gonna win here.
Yeah, obviously MJF's gonna win. This is just a weird match for me because there was no backstory to it whatsoever. They just booked this match. They did try to tell a story after the match got announced, but still,
No, I
but
mean, yeah, Hechicero made the challenge. He challenged MJF.
okay.
So I guess yung little
Yeah.
side feud with Rush was the lead up to that. So we established that MJF is feuding with the Mexicans for some reason. So here comes another Mexican to have a match with him.
Nonetheless, MJF wins.
Yeah. Yeah, speaking of MJF, the mga side quests niya are getting weirder because now he's got a match diba, with Daniel Garcia at All In. Na hindi ko rin gets, parang MJF, why are you now in the business of putting young people over? Like, ako hindi ko gets. And like even the opening segment that MJF and Garcia did and how Will Ospreay came out and tried to upstage MJF, I get it. It's to build tension for the two of them for their eventual match. But MJF taking these little side quests, it's becoming more and more glaring how they're really just blatantly keeping him away from the world championship scene.
Hindi naman blatantly. It's more of they're stalling him because obviously we've got a hot feud in Swerve and Will. Pero they don't know what else they could do with him. So hopefully the story, the new story with Daniel Garcia is gonna be something. Otherwise, it's very clear that they're trying to keep away MJF habang may iba pang tao sa main event scene.
Mm-hmm. All right. Last thing here before we go to break again, you've got a first round match in the Owen Hart Cup for the men's division. It's Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi. So it's the Year of the Dragon, the American Dragon versus the Rampage Dragon.
Yeah. This is a fun match. It could theoretically go either way, but Shingo was the import here, so I'm gonna give it to sorry, they're both dragons. I'm gonna give it to Danielson here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a match that heading into Forbidden Door. This is what I'm excited about the most. So it's Brian and Shingo. You know what to expect with these two. Sobrang fitting. Then it's gonna be at Forbidden Door, and these two guys are from AEW and the JPW, and it's also the Owen Hart Cup tournament. So I think kasi this is a tournament match nga, and I don't expect Shingo to appear beyond Forbidden Door. So I'll go with Brian Danielson here.
Should be fun. Dragon versus Dragon in the year of the dragon. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll finish off our Forbidden Door predictions. But first, a quick word from our other podcasts right here on the Pod Network. All right, second half of our AEW Forbidden Door predictions. Let's get to the ladder match for the vacant AEW TNT Championship. So it's Takeshita, Mark Briscoe, Jack Perry, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and TBD. So unang prediction, sino si TBD? And second, who wins the TNT title?
I don't know. But I don't know who TBD is. But my pick to win, I wanted to be Takeshita, pero I feel it's going to be Jack Perry to complete yung elite all belts nila.
Yeah, I also wanted Takeshita to win this, but I realized he's gonna compete in the G1 in the next few weeks, so wala siya sa AWTV. So plus this has been slated talaga for Jack Perry to win. I don't know, ever since this was announced, I always feel like this is for him to win. So Jack Perry.
It's kind of weird to me, no? Na visually, like the biggest guy here is the Japanese guy. I guess it's from all those years of being conditioned. If you're a Japanese wrestler, you're relatively smaller compared to the American guys. But looking at this lineup, si Takeshita yung pinakamalaki.
Yeah, and because in American indie wrestlers are small.
Yeah, that's also true. Eto si Julian, sabi niya he has a gut feeling that Ricochet is TBD. He's still under contract though.
Pwede. I mean,
okay. Is he? Okay. If he's still under contract, then cool.
Wala.
Ang bali-balita is he's still under contract until end of July. I don't know. Harvey, Wrestle Pastel is here as well. Sabi niya, TBD is ELP.
Pwede.
I don't know. Possibly. I don't want to guess who TBD is anymore. So, pagulat na tayo.
Yeah.
Oh, baka ma-disappoint lang tayong lahat eh. Next up, you've got a winner-take-all match for the AEW TBS Championship and the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, this is for Mercedes to win because she was the NJPW Strong Women's Championship was made literally for her, and then she lost it unfortunately to Willow nung nagka-injury siya last year. So it's hers to lose.
Yeah, same thing. The Strong Championship is something she lost a year ago, so I think in storyline she wants that back. So Mercedes here will win.
I just want to say that Stephanie Vaquer's outfit here makes me think she's Bozanian because of the horns.
Oh, nga, no.
All right, time for the next match. Let's talk about some Pinoy pride. It's Orange Cassidy taking on Zack Sabre Jr. And more Pinoy pride your way. Ang daming nagsilabasan during the Zack Sabre Jr. and Kyle O'Reilly match featuring an actual Pinoy in Kuya Robbie Eagles, who made his Dynamite debut alongside Shane
Hayes is also an honorary Pinoy. Yung asawa niya
That's
is
right.
Wow.
That's right.
So TMDK is like of the Pinoy faction.
Yeah, TMDK is a new Pinoy. I want Kuya Zack to win here, but it's Orange Cassidy, and it's always #Orange Cassidy wins though.
Mm-hmm.
I would actually say CSJ here for the win. He has been in the Forbidden Door PLE for 3 years now. Lagi siyang natatalo. So, might as well give him a win here.
Yeah, I hope so, but it's Orange Cassidy.
Can I just say na sobrang weird yung post-match shenanigans na yun kasi ang dami nagsilabasan pero wala naman nagsapakan. Robbie Eagles was like the scrappy do of the bunch. Like he was trying to get a swipe at Orange Cassidy and then they were pulling him away and ang daming angasan. Gabe Kidd was trying to get involved. Roderick Strong and his crew were trying to get involved.
Yeah,
And
I have
nobody threw a punch.
I feel like they're gonna do something on Collision before the pay-per-view. The day before the pay-per-view because everyone else can't be booked. Like obviously Robbie and Shane can't get on the card. Ishii and Gabe Kidd can't get on the card unless they're gonna stick in another match. Oh.
All right, let's move on to our last three matches. Ito, IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It's Jon Moxley taking on the former champion Tetsuya Naito. So I guess this is Naito's rematch, no?
Yeah, it's his rematch. I'm calling a Naito win here. I feel like yung deal nila is okay, Moxley wins the championship on an NJPW event so that Naito gets his win back on a bigger event, in America. So it's been a nice little run. It's been a couple of months, I feel, but
yeah,
it's time to give it back.
Yeah, same thing here. Naito is gonna get his title back. Kasi papunta na tayo sa G1 season and usually the champion is in the G1 but Moxley wasn't scheduled to be in the G1 tournament this year, which is weird. So Naito's gonna get his title back. And I think Mox did naman such a good job of being the champion on both the US soil and in Japan in his few appearances there while he was champ. So, but it's time. So Naito with the win here.
Yeah, just reminding everybody that Mox won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship just days after Roman Reigns lost the Universal Championship. But see Seth Rollins after he lost the World Heavyweight Championship. So there was a tweet that came out na it hasn't even been a few days and yet another member of the Shield is still a world champion somewhere.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's insane.
Mm-hmm. Last couple of matches here. Let's go talk about the Women's World Championship. It's Timeless Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa, with Mariah May at ringside to support both participants. But as of Dynamite kanina, si Mina wanted to blindside Toni Storm by smashing a bottle of champagne in her head. Instead, si Mariah May yung tinamaan niya. So, I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know who Mariah May will eventually support, but I, for one, would like to see Miss May suspended in a shark cage instead.
All right, here is the biggest take. I don't know if Mina is contracted to AEW fully, but she needs to fucking win. She needs to win because she is what Tony Khan needs. So women's division of AEW. She is everything that incels, wrestling nerds, smarks have been waiting for in AEW. Diba? Mina Shirakawa is highly charismatic. She fulfills the fantasies of people who miss Divas era women's wrestlers and still be able to work and ball in the ring because of her Japanese training, her Joshi training. So, alam mo yun, she is like she could be the biggest breakout star, no pun intended, that AEW has been waiting for. It wasn't Mercedes, apparently. It wasn't Soraya. It wasn't anyone else. It should be Mina, and she should win because nobody has been more interested in the AEW women's division since until Mina arrived here.
Interesting. At least itong si Mina Shirakawa, di lang siya nag-appear sa AEW because it's Forbidden Door season. She has been appearing on AEW since April. Diba?
Yeah.
She's been appeering on Ring of Honor, AEW
Pero
TV.
hindi pa siya fully signed. She's not all the way.
But still, I think TK likes her. Likes her being on TV kasi like all the things that you said. Plus, I think it's time to get the Mariah Tony feud start here kasi it's been a while. They have been partners since like last year, and this has been a slow burn thing as well. As to when is Tony or Mariah gonna turn on the other. So might as well do it now. And but I still think Tony will win. But I want, like, my heart says Mina, but my mind says Tony. I'm torn here. So you know what? I'll
Who
just go
turned you
Mina.
into Mariah May, Emil?
I'll go Mina here for the win. Just to throw a curveball in the Forbidden Door card.
Okay, who does Mariah May eventually help win here?
Mina.
Mina.
Mina pa rin.
Yeah.
All right. Let's close things out with the main event, AEW World Championship match between Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay. Is it bruv time?
Okay, this is like the hardest one to pick. Kasi for one thing, Swerve got his moment. He became the first black AEW World Champion, and he's been doing such a good job. Pero you can't stop the momentum of Billiam Osprey. Diba? So I don't know. What do you do heading into All In? Diba? Do you have Will Osprey be world champion when you get to All In? Do you just pull the trigger? Or do you do another match and have Will win at All In? That I think what happens at All In is what influences this outcome here. So, um, if you ask me how I want to book it, I want to have the rematch at All In so Will can win in the UK. So I'm gonna have Swerve win here and retain.
Wait. Di ba yung mananalo sa Owen Cup will get the title match at All In?
Shit.
Or no?
Nga pala.
Yes,
Diba?
that's right.
Right.
Yeah, yun
Right,
yun.
yeah.
Yung iniisip ko eh.
Okay.
Kasi,
So, possibly Will Ospreay yung wild card.
no. What I'm thinking
After
is,
this. Yeah.
earlier, kasi the Elite, Young Bucks, they teased
Oh yeah.
na the wild card is someone from
Their end.
someone from their end. Yeah, someone from the
Yeah.
Elite. And sino ba yung kilala natin na from the Elite as of right now? It's Hangman. So I feel like they will run back Hangman versus Swerve at All In. That's why I'm picking Swerve here
Okay.
for the win. As much as,
Right.
God, sobrang masasayang yung momentum ni
Hold
Will
up.
Ospreay.
You're thinking, Emil, na it will be Swerve Hangman at All In and Will Ospreay's not near the World Championship picture in Wembley.
I mean, he's still a champion.
Still the champ. He's still the international
Yeah.
champ.
Yeah,
That's still
okay.
that's the
I guess
second
there's that.
that's the second major title on AEW. So he's
Di
still
ba ano yung
champion.
TNT Championship?
No,
I guess hindi na. Kasi
not at this point. I mean, because Will is the champion, that makes the title the second biggest title on the roster right now.
Di ba yung Continental
So,
Championship? Paano naman si Okada?
Nah, he doesn't defend it as often. So, for that logic of what I just said, I'm going Swerve.
Interesting. I like this. I like that you got to flesh it out. I like how you mapped it. Now both of you have convinced me that either of those scenarios could actually work. But yeah, I actually want to see Swerve win here kasi medyo magmumukha siyang gago kung it was just the white hot Will Ospreay train that stops him after he built like almost a year's worth of goodwill and momentum of his own. Alam mo yun, parang kinain lang siya, nilamon lang siya bigla ni Will Ospreay. Parang sayang sayang yung pinagdaanan ni Swerve. But you know, what do I know? What do we know? Wala tayong alam. We are not in the room where it happens, but we are in the room where you can talk as much smack as you want and make your own predictions. So if you want to comment on everything we've called with regard to Forbidden Door, you know where to find us. It is at Wrestling2XPod on TikTok and on Twitter. All right. We're about to wind down here, but we got to let you know that we've got more content coming up in the pipeline. We've got Wrestling Fan 101 that should be up on your feeds by Monday. And then, syempre, by Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll be able to record our weekend reactions and our picks of the week episode. That's part of our 5-episode a week schedule for the Wrestling podcast, which at the rate we're going, we're actually about to hit episode 800 in about a month. So that's kind of weird to say, but these are the times we live in. Let's get to some plugs. Emil, what do you have going on?
Wala naman, just follow the pod on all the social media platforms. I also write reviews for the AEW weekend shows. And also support the pod by subscribing to our Patreon. That's it.
How about you, Ro?
Yeah, guys, Unmasked, the Chronicles of Roman and Sandata are, up every week on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and makita. People don't actually know when I update. I update every Friday, But tomorrow we'll have a new episode at 9 a.m. It's going to be about the mid-year of made in June 2017. So go check that out. If you don't know when I release, it is at 9 a.m. every Friday.
Sabi nga ni Julian, pang-workout siya. Ako rin, pinang-workout ko rin yung Unmasked. Kasi kung narinig ko yung mga pangalan ng mga kupal, ginaganahan ako magbuhat, di ba?
Hey,
it just makes me feel better that I, a non-wrestler, am more physically healthy than some who are actually in the business. And I would leave it at that.
It's actually true.
Mm-hmm. All right, on my end, nothing really to plug, but if you are into, or if you want to hear some discourse on this new wave of xenophobia, thanks, Alice Guo. My co-hosts at Now Steaming and I are actually cooking something up in the next few weeks, so please watch out for that. As for the podcast, you can follow us individually. It is at EML_Meister, at Monday Night Rowan, at Chino Supersized, at Rowas War, and at _Stan C. We got to say thanks to Babyface producer Jasper and everyone over at the Pod Network for all of the work that they do behind the scenes. And thank you for keeping the Wrestling podcast as a part of your weekly wrestling diet. We really appreciate it. And we will catch you again next week for our succeeding episodes and the next live stream on Thursday at 7 p.m. For Romoran and Emil Nate, my name is Stan C, reminding everyone to stay hydrated, stay safe, stay dry, and don't be a dick. Wrestling Podcast. Out. Later, Outcasts.
Peace. Thanks, guys.